Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown and welcome to our Sunday service. We connect on the first Sunday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to enjoy some time for quiet reflection and a little bit of peace. That's our goal for the next, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. You can register to join us, and then if you can't, you'll receive an archive. So you can register to join us and then enjoy the archive on our community, Caring Our Way. And it's just caringourway.com. It's this idea that we're carrying our way through our difficult days with support. And we hope that we are offering the support that brings you peace. Okay, so we have an agenda that we follow. And I take that inspiration of an agenda from our services through our house of worships. They follow a particular timeline for the service, so we're doing the same thing. And we start off with our Sunday service with a story. And it's a story about a family caregiver that I've known. And I tell you a story about a family caregiver because I think we worry that no one will remember what we did. And I want to remind you that someone will remember. I remember the family caregivers that I encounter, and someone will remember all that you have done, including you. Okay, so today I want to tell you about Tara. So Tara was one of our very first bloggers on my first online caregiving community that I launched. And she started blogging in 1999. And she started blogging with a very different perspective than was really pretty much out there already. She blogged from the perspective of caring for her mom, who she did not like. She had a very difficult relationship with her mom, and yet she stayed active and present in caring for her. She also was a young mother at the time too. And she would use her blog as an opportunity to vent, to just say exactly how she was feeling about this caregiving experience. And she didn't worry about how people felt about what she said, and she didn't worry about how she felt about what she said. And I find that interesting because she used her first name. Now, typically, our bloggers didn't use their first and last name, or they used an assumed name. So for her to go out there into the world and say, here's my first name, and here's my relationship with my mom, and here's some personal details about me, she put it all out there. And she never apologized for how she felt. And I always thought that was so awesomely brave to just say it. And her vents on her blogs became the release of the pressure she experienced during her caregiving experience. So instead of bottling it up, instead of stifling it, instead of judging it, she just put it out there. And the way she put it out there was really just the facts. I've had a difficult relationship with my mother all of my life. I would prefer not to be in this caregiving experience. I would prefer to just be involved in my career, my marriage, and raising my young child. And here's my life. And because it's not what I want, I'm going to tell you about the parts of my life I do not want, the parts of my life that I dislike, that are challenging for me, and I'm just going to say it. And she would put swear words in her blog. I mean, it really was awesome. It really was awesome because she just said it. Now, I don't mean to say that she was swearing all the time and she was calling people names, but she was just using swear words effectively to describe what the day was like for her. I think you can imagine what those swear words were. So I think about Tara, who, gosh, 24 years ago, put it all out there. And I think, wow, so her young son would be a young adult, perhaps in his own marriage, perhaps starting his own family. And I think that's pretty amazing. Life continues. Life continues for us. And our memories help us keep going. So I remember Tara and her courage, and it reminds me to keep going. So I want to offer gratitude for you and your courage. So I think about the difficult days of caregiving are also our bravest days. And I don't think we necessarily think of it that way, but it's brave to get up every morning and face it. It's brave to continue. It's brave to start the conversations that no one else wants to be involved in, except you have to start them. You have to gather the information. So you do it. I think about, for me, one of the bravest spaces during my caregiving experience has been the elevator in my parents' apartment building. It was in that elevator that I gathered the courage to tell them that their son, my brother, had died unexpectedly. It was in that elevator that I gathered the courage to have conversations about, do you want to be buried or cremated? It was in that elevator that I had the courage to face the visits from hospice, to start the conversations with my mom about hospice, to be there as she was dying, to always go. So there's something like an elevator in your life too, where you get in knowing that what you're going to face is going to be really hard and sad and frustrating and aggravating and overwhelming. And you still step in and you press the up button. There's a place in your day where you are faced with a choice to turn around or to keep going forward. And you choose to keep going forward. You choose the bravery. For me, it was the elevator. For you, it could be something else. It could just be a door that you open. Or maybe it's the opposite. It's a door that you close. We do it. And we do it bravely every day. And I want to acknowledge our gratitude for you and your brave days. Okay, so now we take a moment to remember. And I think it's good to remember who we are, because we can get lost during our caregiving experience. Sometimes I have felt like, where did my nice person go? Because I feel like I'm not nice because it's so hard. The battles are so intense during caregiving, right? You feel like you just have to keep at someone to get them to fax the orders or show up or do this. And it feels like it turns you into someone who isn't all that nice. And yet it's who we are. And maybe nice isn't a word you ever would have used to describe yourself, and that's okay. But there's a word you would describe yourself that somehow gets lost in caregiving. Let's remember what that word is. What's the word for you? It could be hopeful. It could be creative. It could be productive. It could be sunny, that you felt like you always showed up in your day sunny, smiling, and now it feels like you show up into your day and you feel like there's tears behind the eyes that are just ready to fall. But let's remember that that's still who we are. Our caregiving experience can feel like it takes so much from us and it demands so much of us. Let's remember who we are. And let's remember the word that describes who we are, that felt a little lost to us. And let's remind ourselves that we are nice, sunny, faithful, hopeful, encouraging, compassionate, caring, productive, creative, outgoing, energizing, fun, clever, humorous, well-read, intelligent, courageous, and brave. So as you go about your day today, remind yourself, I am, and then fill in the blank with that word that describes who you are, that sometimes feels lost to you. Let's take it back and let's claim it by naming it. Okay, so then we move into our intentional question. And our intentional question in our Sunday newsletter this week is, what are our opportunities? And I want to pivot a little bit from that for our Sunday service, because change happens during caregiving that we don't want, right? I mean, who wants all the changes that we have to navigate and endure? And I had a conversation last week with a colleague about her experience caring for her mom. And I was telling her a little bit about caring for my mom at the end of her life, and now just really focusing on my dad. And she reminded me during the conversation of the changes in our relationships that I would have never thought could happen. So for instance, when my grandmother was 95, I actually established a relationship with her. Now, she was someone who hovered around the edges of our life, but she was not a good mother to my father. And it pained my father significantly. And so it was very difficult for him to establish any kind of relationship with her. So we knew about her. Sometimes she showed up, sometimes she didn't. She seemed to have a lot of power over our family. And then when she was 95, she was diagnosed with bladder cancer. And I thought, well, I don't really know her. She was living in assisted living at that time. I thought I should get to know her. So I started visiting her. Now, here's an important piece of the story, though, that you must know. And that is they started prescribing an antidepressant for her. And that really helped her. So when I could go visit her, we could have conversations rather than her directing me about what's wrong about my life or my dad's life or my mom's life or a sibling's life. So for her, the antidepressants removed the judgment, I guess, interestingly enough. So I was able to engage with her in a conversation that was really pretty fun. She told me all the memories of what it was like when she was growing up and how many men she dated before she got married. I mean, she really had quite a zest for life. And it's really the sad part of her life that her mental health got in the way of her zest for life. So I spent the last 2.5 years of her life really getting to know her and really enjoying her. Really felt like a blessing that I was able to do that. I've always been close to my mom. I wouldn't say I always had a good relationship with her, but I always was close to her. No matter how aggravated she was with me or I with her, we continued the relationship. And the relationship really became special for me as she was dying, because she was very courageous about her death. She did not want to die, but then she accepted it. And she was quite courageous about it. So I called my mom every day because I worried about her. She was very frail. She was very fragile. Help was in place. I helped her regularly, and I always called her regularly, every day, like clockwork, same time. No matter how much I had helped her during the day, I always called her later. And then after my mom died, okay, so I'm going to use Tara as my encouragement vehicle. I thought, oh, I don't have to make those daily phone calls anymore. Not that I minded it with my mom, but I was going to mind it with my dad. And so I didn't for a day or two. And then my dad said, I would really like you to call me at 7:00, like you always did. I thought, oh, that's what I thought. But I did it because he is 91 and we have rounded third. I know the end game is here. And so I think this is short term. Of course, I'm going to do this in the short term. Well, I call him every night, and honest to goodness, it is exactly opposite how I thought the calls would be. I thought they would be drudgery, and instead they are delightful. We laugh. We just check in with each other. It's like calling a friend. Now, my dad was never a friendly presence in my life, so to have this now is really kind of remarkable. So I think our intentional question for this week is, how can I be open to the opportunities that can create change for the better? So when my dad made the request, I thought, oh, but I thought I have to be open to this. So I stayed open to it. And then it turned into really a nice friendship. A nice friendship. So there's an opportunity for change at any time in our life. And when we stay open to it, we can receive it. So that's our intentional question for this week. We can ask ourselves that every day to start every morning to start our day. What's the opportunity for a change that could be a blessing? Okay, so we talk about our intentions in this next segment, and our intentions are around a silent thought you have around help you need. So I'd love for you to take a moment and just in your thought, be honest about the help you need. I need help with. I need support with. I need resolution around. And it could be, I need help paying my bills this month. I need help finding the right kind of help. I need support around my sadness. I need a better way to structure my day. Let's be honest with ourselves, with our intention around what we need. I think we can go out in the world and present that face that all is okay. And then we go back into our own life and it's not okay. Our intention is to be honest and truthful with ourselves about what we need. Let's start with ourselves about what we need. And again, it could be, I need help paying the bills this month. I need help finding help that really helps. I need support for my sadness. I need a better way to get through my day. Whatever it might be for you, to yourself, be intentional about the truth. And then it could be that you take a next step, which could be you say it to someone, you write it in your journal, or you say it out loud to the universe. I need help paying my bills this month. I need help finding the right kind of help. I need support for my sadness. I need a better way to get through my day. Be truthful with yourself, and then take one next step, telling the truth to another, writing the truth in your journal, or saying the truth out loud to the universe. Our intention is to be truthful with ourselves. And again, taking a page from the blog of Tara, it's important that we tell the truth to ourselves because we want better, and better starts with the truth. Okay, so we close for today. We close with gratitude for you. We close with an acknowledgement of your bravery. And we close with a realization that our solutions come from our truth. And it's okay to tell the truth. Our truth isn't about our failing, our inabilities, our shortcomings. It's about our fact of our experience right now. Okay, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your truth. And thank you for being open to an opportunity that could create a change that could become a blessing. Thanks for watching. Feel free to join me on the first Sunday of every month for our Sunday service. It's for family caregivers and former family caregivers. And you can register to join me by visiting our community, Caring Our Way. And feel free to post any updates. Join us and share with us. Okay, thanks much. Bye-bye.